Me and you.
You know what? There's something just extremely uncomfortable about a man your size sniffing a flower.
We're gonna need a new plan.
I'll give you anything you ask for. As long as it's not something I don't want to get.
Get off my bridge.
It is the Al Travis Show. We've got our Representative Natalie Zeleznikar with us on the program today. Representative, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
I've been asking everybody, and it sounds like a strange question, but I'm kind of interested. How long have you been in the legislature?
I'm finishing up my second term. So
Okay.
I started in
2020.
So
All right. Is this like the first day of elementary school, high school, college? You start today. Do you go in and have you already been in, made sure you got enough highlighters and pens and you got, your new outfit on? Is it kind of that first, do you get that feeling? And I'm not trying to make fun like it's first day of school, but does it? Or is it like, oh, dread?
Probably the first term, the first day of the first term, and then the first day of the second term. But this is the second year of the biennium. So, today it's just it's a different start because today is going to be more of a memorial service start. So it's going to have a heavy feel different than the other starts, to be honest.
Okay. And so for folks what are you chatting about? Generally, it's the first day is all ceremonial, taking pictures and that sort of thing. But this is about the Melissa Hortman and her passing. It's about Hoffman getting back to the office, I presume. So what kind of things will be done? People talking on the floor. What is it you expect when you get there? Have they told you?
From what I understand, there will be select speeches from people. There will be, a declaration, honoring the life of Melissa Hortman and her service for over 20 years to the state. And then there will be color guard posting. The tribal leaders will be here today.
Nice.
So it will be a ceremonial type honoring of their lives and honoring us returning in the spirit, I think, that Melissa Hortman would do of coming together as the House body to mourn and to and then
take that next step.
Today's going to take the next step. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So that's what we'll get today. What do you think is going to happen this session? I lead the witness. All 201 people in the state legislature and on the state offices all have to run for their job. I think there's got to be a way for us to fix that. It's never, in my opinion, a great year that happens. It's also a bonding year, and we also had a lot of stuff. The shootings, like we talked about. We have the ICE incidents, and we have all the fraud. Is there an ability to get anything meaningful done? Minnesota Reformer Order said, could this be the least, this session be the least amount of things ever getting done in the history? Because is anyone going to put their neck out and take a real vote?
I think you should. I mean, you're here to represent the people, so they could care less about our elections, to be quite honest. They care about what we're doing to get things done for them back home. So, we need to do some things immediately. And so time is going to tell, but we should be getting things done, delivering. I mean, life is a roller coaster ride of the highs and lows, and that's what the people back home deal with every day. They have sadness, and they have joy, and they have setbacks, and they have opportunities. But at the end of the day, they've got to get up every morning and deal with what's in front of them, and we have to too. And what's in front of us is Minnesotans are hurting. They are being taxed out of their homes. They're being taxed. Businesses are leaving. The fastest growing group coming into Minnesota makes under $25,000 annually, which means they're qualified for medical assistance. So it's not setting us up for a sustainable future. So we have a lot to deal with. We have a lot of real issues to people. Okay,
but as you sit going back to the legislature, the House is split 67-67. Now, Speaker Demuth will be the speaker yet, but on the other side, the Senate has it by one vote over there. Hard enough to get anything done when you have the numbers, let alone when you don't. Here's what's going to bother me. So we have this massive fraud thing. You probably read about it. You probably saw it somewhere, this fraud.
I read about it a couple times.
Yeah, it's made the news sometimes.
Yes.
And we sat in there, and on the Senate side, 60 senators out of 67 voted for this office of Inspector General. Now, I think the credit's going to Gustafson for being the lead author from the Democratic side. Fine, I don't care who's the lead author. And many people signed up on this bad boy. So you're that close, it's 60-7. On the House side, it doesn't even see the light of day. It doesn't get the vote. They voted not to vote on the vote or something. Some people will never want to understand that. The Democrats come out now and say they're quite upset that the Republicans, how they put it, characterized that the Democrats prevented that bill from advancing. Yet they also said, supposedly according to Carol Levin, that Office of Inspector General bill will not be connected in any way with the budget bills to kind of force us to go through. What are the Democrats hiding? Who did what? Why do we not have the Office of Inspector General, in your opinion?
That bill could be pulled up and should be pulled up off the table just independently and voted on. I mean, the fact is we have 67 Republicans that voted yes in the House and 67 Democrats. The rule requires 67 Democrats voted no against the Office of Inspector. So it's disingenuous to me to say that it is a partisan politics. It is completely partisan in the sense that one Democrat wouldn't join the Republicans. They know, as well as we know, you need 68 votes to pass the House. So if they really wanted it, they passed everything else they wanted in the 23 session, and they could do this. So if the governor's saying he wants it and the Senate's saying they want it, it would seem logical to me that they would be able to get the top leaders the top leader in the Democrat. All they need is the minority leader to vote yes. So then I would expect that to happen if that's accurate when we get back to session.
Well, and again, we'll see how quickly could that get pulled up. But here's my issue. So it was 67 Democrats saying no when the end of session happened. We've had the summer of fraud, right? That ended last June. We've done nothing but talk fraud for 8 months. Are we saying that one Democrat in the middle somewhere hasn't changed their mind and said, no, we got to go after this, or at least the people that he works for or she works, you know what I'm saying? It would seem like a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer. And the fact is that when you see all the things that have come out from the Office of Legislative Auditor, Judy Randall, saying this is the most ridiculous this is the worst she's ever seen it. Where DHS people are falsifying documents and backdating and doing things that are completely unprofessional. So to have the agency have the Office of Inspector within DHS, Department of Human Services, who reports to the governor, it's all together, which is not. The position of other states is like, look, regardless of what party is in the governor's office, you should have an independent office that's protecting the people's money. And I agree. I don't think it should matter whether there's a Republican or a Democrat in office. It's a check and balance system. And clearly we haven't had it. Optum has noted it. I mean, it's been noted by everybody. So to say, let's keep everything the same and everybody report to me and let's not move anything differently is disingenuous. It is not what the people of Minnesota want.
What can the legislature do? Let's talk about some of this stuff. Supposedly, according to the Office of Legislative Auditor, one guy, I use guy, we don't know the sex of the person, one person approved a $672,000 monthly bill, an invoice, which didn't say anything about what it was invoicing. It just, here's my $672,000 invoice. This human approved it, sent the check, and by the end of the week, quit working for us and worked for them as a consultant. According to the Office of Auditors, maybe that's not even illegal. How is that not illegal? And why don't we make it illegal? Because if the governor's not going to say what the heck's going on, I want us to. You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. You work for me.
Too.
So how do we fix that?
For the people. And we have bills that we're introducing that will do just that, looking at, who's the ownership, who are your conflict of interest, what's your circle, putting parameters in. And the thing of it is that if you were truly looking at it as an auditor, you would see those circles and stop it. Yeah. So the authority's been there to do that, but apparently we need absolute rules on understood business conduct in schools, cities, counties, and small businesses. We have to spell it out. You can't do that. That's unprofessional.
But what you can't do it, but we also need to know what the consequence, and you will be fired. I say you can't work for the state of Minnesota and have any business 3 years after you're out with anything that was in your circle of influence. The other one, like you said, the falsifying data for the Department of Human Services, right? Backdated stuff, made stuff up. What's interesting to me is they could have used the excuse, we're just too busy. There's too much paperwork. I couldn't get it done. But it takes just as much time to falsify a paper as it does to have done it originally. So that isn't a timing thing.
No.
But again, no one fired. Office
When no
of
one's
Legislative
fired-
Auditor said that we're not sure that's against the rules. How is that not? I did my taxes this weekend. You tell me how many papers, Representative, I can fill out falsely, backdating and doing any of that and send to the state of Minnesota, and they wouldn't come for me.
They'll come with,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's the point. People see through this. They see it as absolutely the most ridiculous. And if you can't have the basic accounting systems that we expect schools, cities, counties, and small businesses across our state to do, and you think the rules apply different to you at the state agencies, and you don't hold anybody accountable. In fact, everybody keeps their jobs for being inept. Or complicit in absolute fraud at levels that are way past $9 billion. And so, and consequently, the answer is let's just keep taxing people. That's not the solution. And so we're putting in a lot of parameter bills that will stopgap that and making sure that if you had fraud in Minnesota, you're ineligible then to ever open a business and build a state. So you can open a flower shop and do private pay if you want to do, but you're not ever going to be in a business relationship with the government.
I want that. This, by the way, for folks who are paying attention, the falsifying of the documents, evidently, according to the AUL, was not one or two people. It was a lot of people. They were just going, hey, we got to cover our backsides, and they start filling out paperwork, and they all felt that was a legit thing you could do. That's where this corruption is so weird to me. I've got to go to break, because the other one, you brought up Optum. All of a sudden, we have the AOL that no one listens to, right? No one wants to listen to follow their direction. So we'll pay this Optum group $2 million to tell us what they think. Their first report comes out, I'm as mad as anything. People will be bad and steal from us. They're bad people. But we pay people, and they're not following the rules. We'll talk about that right after this. I've got a Representative Zeleznikar on the Al Travis Show.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
You need a friend at the Capitol who knows how to get things done.
And you're in luck, because that's exactly who we are, your friends at the Capitol, and we deliver results.
At Momentum Advocacy, we bring decades of experience in lobbying, public affairs, and crisis communications.
From local nonprofits to national corporations, we help you move policy, manage your media, and make your voice heard.
We're not just seasoned pros, we're essential partners.
Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol. Learn more at momentum-advocacy.com.
as in alligator. L also in alligator. But it's not alligator. It's the Al Travis Show.
And we've got a Representative Zeleznikar starting the day off with us on our way out to go to the Capitol and start doing the business of the people. Here's the one that's driving me crazy, according to the NPR. That Optum group that the governor is paying $2 million to tell them what's going on came out with their first preliminary report about Minnesota's Medicaid payouts. They found out that the direct policy violations have cost the state. The report says Minnesota could save upwards of $1.7 billion if we just closed up those gaps in our Medicaid policies. Now, the guy who runs the place, Minnesota Medicaid Director John Conley, comes out and goes, I want to make sure you understand, this does not imply any fraud.
Oh, no, not
This
at all.
this is where we're just not following the policy for some reason, like they filled out the paper wrong, whatever. It's us not following policy. Representative, even if we had no fraud in this state of Minnesota, and let's go with it, we'd still be losing $1.7 billion a year because our people aren't following the rules that you all set up for them. And John Conley wants you to know that. This isn't fraud, baby. This is me not doing. He should have been fired that second that sentence came out of his mouth, that he knew that was going on. You know what I'm saying? Why is this going on like this? This is crazy.
Well, the acting commissioner, Shireen Gandhi, was in her prior role in DHS. She's been there quite a while since Waltz began, the governor. She was responsible for making sure we were in federal compliance with the federal match of the 50% match on the federal money, too. So compliance issues is not something she's unfamiliar with. So the fact that this could go on, and a more telling thing to me is when I look at the fact that because Optum is reviewing it, 30% less billing took place in just the first period. That means we saved $165 million because we hired Optum for $2 million because the state is inept and chooses not to follow policies that legislators have already done. They're just not doing their job. So commissioners should be gone, staff should be dealt with, and culture should be replaced because the rules are there. They're choosing to interpret it and just act complicit in this, in my opinion. And so, I think that's the real issue that's why we need an office of inspector general. That's why we need to hold people's feet to the fire. And we're going to be continuing this way this entire session because we can't afford. We cut $1 billion in health and human services last year for people that really need care in Minnesota.
OIG should have the ability to fire people if they're that independent, in my opinion.
And they do.
Okay.
That's why we want it. They have authority.
The DFL came out with 11 bills that they want to introduce to go against ICE, to fix ICE. Good for you. I didn't hear any on how they're going to take care of fraud or clean this up. That does not seem to be on their plate, and that is crazy to me.
I think they think Minnesota's doing a fantastic job, and a fantastic job that there is nothing to see. It's like, there's nothing to see here. It's like, really? There's nothing to see. We have.
If you just said, I'm going to start following our own rules, that's $1.7 billion. You get the $9 billion we gave to fraud out. You could cut the budget by $10 billion, and no one would miss it except the fraudsters.
And we don't have to have increase in car tab fees and increase in fishing, like everything we love to do, increase in boat fees, increase to fish, increase to every way of life that Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes, we do up here. And so you're absolutely right. The property taxes wouldn't be going up the way they are. We'd have development. We'd have commercial businesses coming into Minnesota wanting to be here because it's a great state to live in when we have people being responsible.
I can't imagine anybody reading the headlines, and as this Optum thing is off the charts to me. Literally, don't worry, it's not fraud. It's just us not doing the job, and we could look at the rules, but we're not going to do it. I got to go. I'm out of time. Representative, I don't know how you do it. You're going to rip your hair out, in my opinion, this next session. This is going to be crazy. It'll be interesting to see if anything actually gets done.
Oh, we're going to get something done. We have to. Minnesotans expect it. Otherwise, they're going to vote in 26 and figure it out.
I appreciate you very much. Thanks for coming on the program. I really do. Thank you.
Yep,
Representative Zeleznikar on the Al Travis Show.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue